So today I will be showing you how to make a thumbnail. First things first, I'm going to show you all the apps that I use. I use Fonto, which is to make the text on pictures. I use Superimpose, which is basically does everything. You can change the background, you can make picture transitions, etc. I also use Lightroom, which is an editing pic app. Snapseed I use to expand my pictures. PhotoFox I use to blend my pictures if I'm using like more than one picture at a time. Baz Art is how I get the nice outline around my pictures. The Eraser app helps you make your pictures transparent, but I like to go on Safari and go to remove.bg to make my pictures transparent, and it's just like 10 times easier. However, unfortunately today I will not be showing you how to use every single one of the apps, but I will show you how to use majority of them. So if you guys want to learn how to put text on your photos and how to do an outline, this is going to be a prime example of how to achieve this kind of thumbnail. So for starters, I'm going to go into my photos and I'm going to choose the pic I want. So again, as you guys saw in the example, I'm going to choose this picture in order to make that podcast picture. So what I do is actually choose two pictures. One that's going to be for the background and the other one that's going to be the cutout outlined picture, which will make sense later on. Next, we're going to use the app Superimpose. First things first, in Superimpose, I'm going to choose one of the photos and I'm going to size it for a YouTube thumbnail, which is generally 16 by 9. Sometimes your photos might be too big or too small, so 16 by 9 is the exact size of a YouTube thumbnail. Once I'm done with that, I save the pic, go back to it, and then I will use that sized picture and I will blur it. This is now going to pose as our background for the thumbnail. Next step is how to make the outline around the photo in the photo. So I'm going to go to remove.bg. I'm going to upload an image and then I'm going to use that original picture, not the formatted picture, but the original picture. And remove.bg makes the picture very seamless and cropped, as you can see right here. So I'm going to hold down the screen and just save that photo. Next, we're going to use the app Baz Art, and this is where we make the outline around the photo. So I'm going to choose photo, and the first photo that I'm going to start with is going to be that blurred picture. That's going to basically pose as our background, as I've mentioned before. Next, I'm going to add another photo, and I'm going to add that transparent photo that we made right on top of the blurred background picture. So now within the app, I'm just like resizing it, seeing how I want to use it. Once I get my desired size and position, I'm going to go to the outline portion of the app and I'm going to now choose a different color that I want to use. I like to go with white because I feel like white really makes the picture pop. And here we have it, an outline over the picture. You have a little sizer bar at the bottom that you can pull to the right to make the line thicker or pull to the left to make it thinner. When I'm done, I screenshot the photo because I actually think in order to save this photo straight from the app, you have to buy it, and I ain't buying it. So I screenshot it, resize it, and bada bing, bada boom, the picture is mine. So next is the Fonto app. This is where we're going to put text on our photo. I'm going to clearly open the app and I'm going to choose a photo. So now the photo that we're going to use is the photo that has the outline picture along with the blurred background. So now I'm going to click that photo and press add text. And this part is pretty much like the most easiest part. Is just basically seeing where your creative ideas are going and how you want your text to be and stuff like that. So here is where I'm going to put podcast 2, has love distracted us from reaching our personal goals. I'm going to choose the different fonts that I want to use. They have an abundance of different fonts. And I just sit there and I play with the different size fonts. I play with, how it's going to fit on my thumbnail. I try not to make it too wordy, which this one's a little wordy, but we ain't going to say too much about it. And then I go and I actually edit the font so I can put like an outline around it just so it can have like a bit more of a pop. I like to add a shadow behind it. I like to add the different features of like blending and stuff like that. So I can't really teach you guys how to use the app like in all its extremities. However, this is just the little bit I do with the app, and every time I use these apps, I learn a little bit something new, and I add it to my thumbnails. My thumbnails be looking popping. And again, I also like to add emojis. I feel like emojis kind of add like a little pizzazz to your thumbnail, gives it a little bit of art, makes it just more appealing for the viewer to want to open your video. You can use pictures from like Google, but I just feel like our phones have an abundance of emojis, so to make life easier for myself, just type in the emoji name, use it, and kind of jazz it up that way. So that'll pretty much sum it up for this photo. I'm going to now save it and upload it as my YouTube thumbnail. So another thumbnail I want to show you guys that I made is this one. I actually used the same exact apps that I used in the previous thumbnail, but I also used the app Lightning Room to brighten this picture. So for starters, we're going to open up the app Lightroom, and we're going to choose our photo. Once you choose your photo, well, this is what I do. I just press that little auto option at the bottom, and it kind of just shows you how it would automatically lighten up the picture. But then I'll go in there and just kind of play with the exposure, the contrast, and stuff like that until I get it to the desired brightness that I'm looking for. Once I do that, I'll save the picture, and then I go back into Fonto. So now we're going to use Fonto a little bit differently. I'm actually going to add a photo with Fonto. So I'm going to add photo, which is at that bottom left right there, and then I'm going to add this picture of me doing a reel, because the thumbnail is going to include me talking about doing reels in this video. So I'll basically just add that little photo wherever on the thumbnail, and I'll size it to where it's there but it's not distracting or being overbearing. Once that's in position, I'm now going to use Fonto to add the text to the photo. So again, like I mentioned to you guys before, I'm just going to play around with it. I'm going to put the words in different positions. I'm going to use different fonts. I'm going to use different colors. I'm going to outline it. I'm just going to play with the app to see what works for me and my style and my preference. So this will pretty much sum it up for this thumbnail. It's pretty easy, guys. In the beginning, it was kind of overwhelming for me because I have all these different apps. But once you know what you want to do and use with these apps, it becomes like second nature. So I know if I want to brighten an app, I'm going to use Lightroom. If I want to add a text, I'm going to use Fonto, so on and so forth. And this is the finishing product of that thumbnail. If you guys have any other questions pertaining to how to make a thumbnail, make sure that you do not hesitate to ask me in the comment section down below. I will be glad to help you, because trust me, like I said, this can be overwhelming as somebody who's trying to learn how to do thumbnails. You're just like, all right, you just did 10 much, but I'll break it down for you guys easier, like via conversation or via the comment section. But I just want to thank you guys all for tuning in, and I love you all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.